seeing all these calls. Yeah, it's a mess. I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah, no, it is, I'm just rolling with the punches now. You know what I mean? Now I'm just like, this is,
So to go up to Teams icon like that we're talking on.
yes.
So if I go into the team thing here, where it shows my little people,
Okay.
and I go to general, like I can see all the calls that we've missed.
Oh, I did not know how
Just
to do
straight up,
that.
just straight up missed calls. I started doing that to help Jeremy because I don't get he can't share with me his voicemails, but at least I know any calls I've missed.
Okay.
So maybe you
Wow.
might be able to find your missed calls there, because then all you have to do is take this number, this caller number, and if it's one of your current clients and you type that into Navigator, you'll be able to look them up and say, hey, I saw I missed a call from you.
Okay. Yes.
That might be one way until you get your phones right. I don't know, because that's crummy.
Yeah,
That's
this
gonna
is,
cause you a lot of heartache.
well, and people are cussing me out. I'm like, hey, you want to put gloves on? We can settle this the old school way. No, I'm kidding. I don't offer that.
So they're trying to reach you, and you're like, I've been here.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, I'm here until as late as I've been
Sorry.
here too long, but no, I totally understand. Thank you for that other insight right there.
Started using, because there'd been some trouble with using Teams from from this Teams. So we use ours now on the web. I don't know if that's how you use yours. It doesn't really matter how you do it because they both work the same. But then we started filling out buckets based on how we use them. And so this has been an ongoing for 2 years now. We've been doing this, so it's really nice. So we have notes on every client that we've talked to.
Gotcha.
So we have our prospects and quotes. Then we have one for autos, one for home, one for farm, one for commercial. And then umbrellas, life policies, lapse, pre-lapse.
Okay.
Anything if we have a weird follow-up or miscellaneous task that we need to do. And then we have our converting quotes. So anytime from the very beginning, when we have our prospects and quotes, if we end up converting them so that they don't just stay in this column forever, we
Right.
just go ahead and bring them over here so that we know we've talked to them. And then these we've just started adding, all these rests we've started adding as we need them. You're going to find things that you do need. So like when we started getting a whole bunch of assigned clients, it's a way to keep track of what was going on with them.
Yes,
We
you
also
know,
keep track of canceled policies. So if somebody's called in, they're like canceling our policies. Um, like let's say we had an auto policy for them. So let's say these guys, Roses, called in and said, we're going to cancel our auto policy. I would just open up this task here. I'd put the date in, say canceled, and then I would move it from the bucket from auto over to canceled. And then it just is a way that we track, because all of this is kind of a see, cover yourself.
yeah,
Kind of precaution for us. Plus, since our team's a little bigger, and so we all know who's worked on it. Whenever we do something, let's see if I have any open or anybody hears. I guess it doesn't really matter. So when we do anything like they call in, so on the 22nd, this person called in and Matt took it. So he assigned it to himself because he was that last touch with them. And then usually we sign the date we started it. So we know when we started it. And then we put in here this due date, which is a follow-up date, because you'll get emails reminding you to check back in on it. So this is what we also use as a reminder to not let things fall through the cracks.
okay.
And then we just quickly make notes. So like we'll put in our initials. You don't necessarily have to do that because it's you. And then we put in everything that happened and what we need to work on for the day. But you'll
Gotcha.
see some of them we've had. Trying to find one. Of course, now when I'm trying to think of one, can I think of one that has a lot of a lot of work on it? Because some of them we talk to all the time. Oh, that's what we're looking. And then you could filter them up here by the name of the person.
Okay.
So like if I put in Gonzalez, I'm going to get all these Gonzalez's that are going to pop up.
Gotcha.
But like Maria is somebody that we've been working on, and you can see we have all these notes since 2024 of everything that we've worked on with her.
So the notes are a living document as well in the planner file, and it's best to keep it there. And then do you upload that into the into Navigator?
Instead of Navigator,
Okay.
we might put more sensitive things that we want to remember that anybody on Navigator, you don't necessarily want to pull up. I mean,
Right.
I think Navigator's great if you would rather just use that to mark that you've talked to them. But we like to use this just because it helps us in the office remember everything we've got going, because daily I'll get an email list of everything that so these are all the things that are on my past due or that I should have done.
Okay.
So for Jeff Bronson, you know, I should have 3 days ago, I was supposed to do something. So then I can just click on it and it'll even just take me right to his tab.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. I've got to look at that. So we use it mostly here in the office, one, so all of us in the office know exactly what everybody's working on at the same time with the client. And
Okay.
two, as a reminder of what we're supposed to do. So I'd set myself a task to make sure that this policy follows through to the new policy on the 24th. So
Gotcha.
that's kind of how we use it. It's what we use to keep ourselves on task.
Yeah, because there's so much information, and that's what I was like, yeah, I'm trying to course or it's
There's too much information sometimes.
and from what I
So
found out,
is it also
country.
filter, like you can filter it by, I filter it by anything that's late or that's due and by myself. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I was supposed to take care of all these things.
I'm starting to use it. I was introduced with Jeremy first and then Matt and now and then I've been on with Steve Sogai to help, but it was just like a lot more stuff. But I wanted to see somebody that's actually using it in the field. And I remember when Matt showed me, I was like, oh my gosh, there are so many things. I was like, where do I need to start? Do I need all of this? But at least the categories like you have the auto, the home, the farm, and then you just
Sure. So with his, we've got, you know, prospects, quotes, to-dos, auto, home, commercial. So you can set it up however you want. I kind of don't like this to-do one as much because then you're gonna end up with multiple tiles. And what we started noticing is that we didn't like for each client to have multiple tiles because it became really confusing. Whereas like you said, it's a living history.
yes.
So keep everything possible in one tile. It seems to make a little more sense. So within the same household, we'll have probably a Scott and Jennifer Martin in the auto and a Scott and Jennifer Martin in the home. And I know that we have them for farm, and that's okay. But then we only mess with the things that have to do, like only when they call about their home would I put something in the home. Only when they call about the auto would I put something in the auto.
Well, instead of trying to combine all of it in there, auto, a home, and you would just
Yeah,
label
because
it.
it gets confusing sometimes because
Mm,
um, especially like if they cancel all their auto policies, well then all those notes are just stuck in there and you don't really need them anymore.
okay.
Or you know, you're trying to work on two things at the same time. You don't want it to get lost in the body of it.
Yes.
The really nice thing is that then down here, there's checklists. So I use this a lot. So this is what I want to make sure. I know that on the 29th, there's something I have to do. Oh, that's right. Make sure he gets the credit on the 11/1 invoice. And then when I'm done, I can check it and it's done, or I can delete it if we don't need to keep it any further. But
Gotcha.
it's just, we just
Okay.
use it a lot as our notes system. Do you know what I mean? And we
Yes.
go through and we put these tags in, but you know, half the people in the office like them, half of them don't. It doesn't really matter since we keep them all separate anyhow.
Okay.
Just how tedious you want to make it really.
Yeah. Well, I want it as simple as a new agent can be because I'm still getting overwhelmed, like just with so much stuff to do. And I'm like, I don't know how they expect any new agent to take on a book of business service and then go out and sell. And it was like, sell, sell, sell. I was like, well, it'd be great, but if the servicing side, well, we don't need well, the servicing is the bread and butter. I don't,
That's your premium.
yeah. I mean, why would you not want to service that? That's what I didn't understand. Where then you just, I mean, I understand business, but to me, these are the people that are paying Country regularly. Why would I not want to keep them as happy
I
customers?
same way, and, you know, they've been yanked around a lot after losing their agent, and it's not all of them received notice, and now they're talking to a new person, and yeah, it's hard.
Yes.
So, yeah, keeping up with the service is hard, but you're right, because it will be your bread and butter. That's what your multiplier is based on, is the, not your multiplier, but your percentage, your box is based on this premium.
Yeah, if they're going away or not getting calls or whatever. It doesn't make sense to, I mean, because then my goal is to build a book of business with referrals in-house as opposed to, I mean, yeah, I'm still going out and getting more, but I was like, these are people, if they're happy, if I get back to them as in a fast manner, like that's to me is just, I don't know, it's just common sense. And to me, I want to service this book that's been neglected, that Country seems to neglect a lot of when agents are leaving. And I was like, well, I didn't know I was a new, oh my gosh, well, we sent an email. Well, no, they didn't. And I was like, well, I'm sure they did, but people don't check their emails or,
So that's, people just get tired of it. You know what I mean? And they just toss a lot of it.
yes.
Some of it's just probably was missed or got out too late. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I feel bad for you and Jeremy in that respect because people are grumpy.
Oh yeah.
They're just
Well,
grumpy.
and that's what I told him. I was like, you're gonna do great with this, your new employee. And I was like, if there's ever anything I can do on a phone call or chat or just go for a talk and walk and role play outside instead of in the office, get outside of this side of things because I mean, we're new and it's great that he has you and Andy and I mean, and he has experience in this, but I was like, dude, you got a wealth of knowledge and you're gonna do fine. It's just don't be a micromanager, so to speak, for person. Let them go in there and just correct the errors before it happens, just on those little things. And you know what to look for, and you're like, okay, this is a red flag, this is not a red flag, and so forth. So, well, very cool. Thank you so much, Heather. That was so helpful seeing it as opposed to just, yeah, they're like, oh,
So you'll figure out what buckets work for you. We just learned, we learned the more separation we made, the cleaner it was. And so that's kind of why we stuck with this, because it was a bit of a work in progress, because we had done two different ones in years past. And after 2 years, this is what the team, we all agreed on, that we like this one best, the ones that we're using it. So we kind of just adopted this. And so that's why we've had this one for only 2 years, because we have some from older. It's just, they weren't as successful.
okay.
Funky.
And
But if
and
you really end up not liking it, you can always start a new one, and then you've got that too.
oh, gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, no, because
I don't know how to do it so well on the web, but if we go to the teams here, see with Andy, we had one in 2022 that we had done.
oh, so you can make another one. So you can separate like what I was trying to do is like the how-to service, like how to do this on the
Yes.
COI, and then all the steps because there's so many steps, and when you don't do them all the time, I forget them, and I'm like, I haven't done that in 2 months. What do I do? And then they're all go to click to know. I was like, oh my gosh, like no,
Yeah,
and so
you'll find your bookmarks and yeah, I get it.
okay, man.
So yeah, you can make multiples of these, or if you end up not liking it. And this is where we keep our files. So like the one we're currently using, we have up here, we have files.
Wow,
And this is where we keep all of our digital files that we have to have, since we don't do paper.
right.
This is where we have, so we have our current client files,
And it's
and then within each of those alphabets, we have each one of them in there. It loads it slow. I just have to remember, slow down. But this is like where you can keep your PDOs. And if they sign a wet signature and you got to keep it somewhere, once you've scanned it in to send to Country, then you can just put the scanned copy in here.
really okay. So you don't have to. I was doing file on the homepage or on the folders down below, but not into Planner. And that planner
Yeah.
doesn't have a storage limit on there so far. I mean,
Hit it yet, and when we set this up 3 or 4 years ago, I was told that if we hit the limit to just call IT and they could give us more.
oh, okay, okay. Well, I got a ways away. Andy's been in it for a while, so still, but that is like, yeah, and it's all ABC. Oh, gotcha.
Family,
Okay.
so like if you like, it's a really nice thing is you can put, I don't know if you have any commercial clients, but commercial stuff is nice to keep in there because commercial is hard to get later.
Okay. And this is better than just putting it on the OneDrive, right? You would think.
Yes, just because everybody in your office can access it.
Oh, as opposed to just,
Your OneDrive, unless you figure out how to share it with everybody, this way everybody accesses it.
I didn't
So like
even think
this,
about that.
we can have multiple policies in here. So that's the only thing,
Wow.
study, you wouldn't have access to what they put on their OneDrive, because when they leave, you lose their computer and it's wiped.
Oh my goodness. That is, I'm gonna
Yeah,
be changing that again now. But
yeah,
that
so
makes so much sense.
think of so that you have everything that's happened.
Wow. And what are the three fours? Is that like,
They're businesses, there's some
oh,
other
okay.
businesses that started with those names. Yeah,
Oh, gotcha. Okay, gotcha. I was like, okay, I didn't see those numbers sequence before. I know the ABCs. But okay.
do it all that way, and then so that they go in alphabetical. I was trying to see if we had any with like a lot of stuff in it. Nah, but like if we have an auto policy, we start the auto policy in the name, and then that's where we would dump in something like the PDO if we need it. I'm sure that's
What does
in here.
PDO
Yep.
stand for?
Physical damage only.
Okay, gotcha.
So if you have any clients who've done physical damage only?
Not yet, but and country told me to give you insurance trivia so you pass on the PDO. No, I'm kidding. Oh my gosh, all these abbreviations too. Um,
Yeah, it's a lot. It's what-
yeah, I know the OMG though. Oh, gotcha. That is, yeah, because I was like,
Files anymore. And let me tell you, don't start keeping paper files. It's just
okay,
too hard.
okay. Well, and if this is in here, so say, God forbid, you have to send your computer in. When they send you back another computer, you will still have access to this by logging into Planner as opposed to your old file computer.
Yeah,
Um,
this is my new computer and it's all on here. You just have to make sure that you always have it set as private site.
okay,
Since this is a SharePoint, just have to make sure it's private. So country seems to think it's okay. I don't know, unless you talk to somebody else who's come up with something better. I mean, always do whatever in your best interest or works best for you, but this is what was shared with us because some other people had thumb drive access or Z drives. And I tried to get those and I was told no, that this was the way country was going.
okay. And this is gonna
But you know,
be
who knows how long that'll last.
right. That's what was my next thing because I know the new year, new systems, and hopefully this is still going to be in effect because there's a lot of agents using Planner now more than Navigator just because it holds so much more data.
We've been using that since 2021. And like I said, we just sometimes we put more sensitive things in here than we would want to put in Navigator.
Right, because Navigator is,
Navigator has they really want you to limit exactly what you put in here.
yeah, well, that, I couldn't say everything that I needed to say.
And the only thing that right now that Andy's office is tracking in Navigator is when I do cars. I mark them in there because everybody wants to know that you've done your cars. So that's the one thing that I do keep in there.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Heather. I really, really appreciate that, man. And I was asking Andy too, whenever I would love to take you and Andy out and go on a double date when you guys are, feeling up to it. I timed it perfect because he was going into the hospital. So I was like, I can bring you hospital food. No, I'm kidding. Um, but no, once he's yeah, once he's recovered, and if you guys ever need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. I appreciate all the help, and I mean that. I don't care whatever he needs, and I know you got Jeremy, and I don't know if it's too late, but you might want to adopt another 51-year-old adult male. But I'm up for it. But if you guys ever need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. And thank you so much for your time. Awesome. Well, you have a wonderful rest of your day, and
Thanks, you too, and good luck.
thank you. I appreciate that so much. All right, take care, Heather. Bye bye.